All right, we are back on the Valiant. There's 2 weeks, so I have 3 days off. I have 6 days to work on this. This day is already mostly over. We'll see where we're at. Fortunately, I have been under the weather some and haven't been able to do much here, but I've got so many days to get stuff done. So we got to finish up the welding. All along the bottom there, trimming on both sides. I got to finish that edge up. Need to get some angle iron put up here on top. Need to get that welded. Get the dashboard in. I've got the wires marked with a little paint. So I got to make new cables because the shifter is going to be in the dash. One thing I found that I don't like is that split. It looks like it's kind of burnt on the bottom, so hopefully that won't come up to bite me in the ass. Right now I'm missing my Sharpie, or knockoff Sharpie I should say. Yeah, so my hope is today get the welding mostly done, finish it up tomorrow. It's just a little bit on the back here. I'm not worried about finishing all this stuff, just making it usable. I also need to get the lights all wired in. I probably won't have turn signals wired up. I might not have brake lights wired up, but I'll have headlights and taillights. So I got to finish up whatever on the headlight buckets so that they'll get screwed down. I just need to kind of go around with the welder. Like this little stuff here needs to be welded. Put a strip in there, that kind of stuff. And then I need to hit everything with a grinder just to get the sharp edges down, because I'm sure some kids will be wanting rides. I'm probably just gonna have to leave this for now and finish it up over the winter or whenever. It's not a high priority. Once car show's done, then I'm gonna get started on the Rambler. Yeah, no grill yet. That won't be hard to do. I'll just put a piece of metal in there. Bumpers probably won't get done yet. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, for the most part, we're almost there. I probably won't have that piece fixed on the front axle, but I think it'll be fine for now. I won't have those holes welded up probably. There's a lot to do. I got to prioritize stuff. So I'm going to go get busy instead of talking. Okay. I have been busting my ass on this the last 2 days. Like yesterday, I was out here all day. Finished up the welding, grinding, got the hood hinges kind of put on. They're temporary. I need to get some better hardware for them. So I kind of gone against my whole deal that I didn't want to paint it up and make it pretty, or at least not yet. I really didn't want to take it to the car show with all the welds shiny and maybe a little bit of rust starting. So what I'm going to do is use my various different shades to kind of try to blend the rust in. So I'm starting with the etch primer just to kind of darken the bare metal and give it something to grip to. And then I'll go over it with some red primer, just a dusting of red primer. And then back here, I'll go over it with a thin dusting of red paint. And then I've got some flat Mustang gray that I'll dust over it, and I'll just keep doing that, and then maybe dust a little black in until it kind of matches. Up front here, I won't use any of the red. I'll probably try to find another shade of gray, because I think the silver will end up too bright, and try to blend that stuff in, just to kind of camouflage it enough so it looks old rather than fresh. And yeah, Someday if I want to Bondo this all up and make it look shiny, then we'll do that, but it's not going to happen now. I need to get in there, vacuum all that out, wipe it all down, make it all clean. I need to get in here. I need to paint all that framework for the batteries and the frame that you see, all that stuff. Just throw some black paint on it and call it good. I got batteries charging, making sure they're ready to go, and then after I get that painted, I'm going to get started on the wiring. I got to give it time to for the paint to dry. So right now I'm going to grab my rag, go through there, wipe all this down, blow it off, wipe it down, blow it off, and then paint it. I'm not going to sand it all and do all that kind of stuff, but yeah, so I'm going to get started on that. That way, while that's drying, I'll come around and try to do the color blend, and then when I get that done, that should be cured up enough for me to start wiring. I have to go back to work tomorrow. I got to leave early and try to find the material for the grill. Hopefully tonight I can get the grill shell trimmed and in. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm gonna get busy. Okay, I put down the red primer and I went ahead and just kind of put some red paint, and you can see how much brighter that red is than the original red, but that's not the point. The point is that's all gonna get covered up. I've got that white, so we'll see. A little bit on the hood, a little too much on the hood, too much over there. So it wasn't supposed to rain, but here it is. It's started sprinkling. Kind of hard to paint when it's raining. Okay, so I kind of did a decent job of disguising. Anyway, so next we go over it with the black, or not the black, the gray. Let's see if we can't blend it in. That's the plan anyhow. Let me get busy. Okay, well, it looks terrible. I probably should have just left it. But, oh well, I guess about the only way to fix it now is to strip it all down and paint it flat black. Strip it all down, do all the body work, and paint it bright red. I don't know. Regardless, it's fine. It's a golf cart. I suppose I can try to make my airbrush work. I'm really not liking the way that goes straight like that. Oh well. Bah. It's a golf cart. I'm gonna zip tie the trunk lid on. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little cut and a little tacking to it before we do. I'm gonna take a break though right now. It's not super hot, but it is super humid out here, and I am soaking wet. I need to go sit down a little bit. Whew, I think I burned myself out these last couple of days. I gotta finish blowing all the metal out of the motor. I gotta work on the seats. Yeah, I'm gonna go in here, we'll take a break. Okay, this concludes another weekend. I got work tomorrow. I gotta leave early to try to find material for the grill. And like I said, I'm not real happy with the paint. It looks just as bad in real life as it does in the video. I got everything covered up for the night. I got the grill trimmed. There's that little piece I got to put in the middle there. I got to drill a couple holes in the bottom for the headlight trim still. Put the screws in. The hood doesn't fit great, but I'm not too worried about it. So I did this frivolous waste of time. I trimmed that piece. This piece worked fine. But these fenders are off of a 60, and they did not have trim holes. I think in 60 the trim was down low. They didn't have the trim up here, but they did have trim up here, but this one doesn't have any of the holes for any of it. The other side does have the trim holes down low. So the trim was shot. I mean, it's beat to hell. You can see right there, it's flat. And, I mean, the trim is junk. So I didn't feel bad about putting a tech screw in. I'll probably have to do it here too. What happened there? What the hell? Oh man. Well, that was rotten, so it pulled through. Anyway, I trimmed that piece and that worked. The rear, I'm still messing with it. I had to drill another hole. I'm probably just going to put screws in it because I've only got one of the threaded pieces. I think the other one broke, and the clips aren't heavy enough. And this one, of course, has that big divot right there. So that's the piece. We'll just run a couple screws in them. Somehow, in all of this mess, I seem to have lost the screws that hold the lens on. Not a big deal, not the end of the world. You can see there's a divot there too. That's what Bondo's made for, right? Right? No. I got to piece together a couple pieces of trim so I can get that piece on, and then I've got this piece. I need to raise those holes up about 1/4 of an inch because of the difference here. Hopefully you won't be able to see the holes, but it doesn't matter that much anyway. So yeah, I got a lot of work done. I got one cable cut to the length I need it. So I just have to make 3 more, or 2 more, 3 total. And then I need to make a cable to go from the front all the way to the back in at least 1/0, maybe 2/0. Unless I want to just put all the batteries in the trunk, which I don't want to do. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, end to another evening. I did not work on the grill. I do need to. Hopefully I can work on that on my lunch breaks. Oh yeah, those holes didn't work out too well, did they? Okay, that's it. I'm going in. I gotta flush the cooling system on the Courier. I need to get it washed and waxed and cleaned out. I gotta clean all the crap off the back of it. The tow truck over here. So the wrecker, I need to get all that crap off the back, unhook the trailer. I'm not gonna take the trailer with me. Get it cleaned up and cleaned out. Take it down there. This Plymouth, I don't have to do much to it. I'm just gonna limp it down there, maybe whip up an exhaust. So next week's gonna be dedicated to everything else. The Cricket, I wasn't gonna take it, but I might take it, I don't know. So anyway, back to work. Somehow all the propane leaked out of my little propane torch, so I ended up having to use the flapper wheel to strip this, but I got it okay. This corner isn't right, but this corner isn't right, so we're gonna come back to that later and kind of move that. I just need to clean up those welds a little bit. And I've got this. I'm gonna go ahead and put this there, and then I will put another piece across it that way, and then go ahead and get that cut, get that welded to it evenly, and then we'll do the mesh and the foam. I could probably work on that at work. So I got the batteries hooked up, and I kind of went through some fits about getting it working. It wasn't working. And I went through this schematic here that I found. And it didn't want to work. And so there was a couple things that I chased down that were kind of weird and kind of odd. And it was hooked up weird to begin with. I remember going through it before and realizing that somehow it was backwards, like the polarity was backwards. And so I finally got everything working. It seemed like as good as it used to. But I'm going to go ahead and play with it a little bit more. I'm going to put the polarity back to what the schematic says. So this is the ground. It's supposed to go right here, and this cable is supposed to go right here. And then positive goes to the switch. And I think the problem is there's a ground wire that comes off the key and goes to the foot pedal switch, which is supposed to ground these solenoids depending on its position. And so hooking this thing up correctly with positive going to the switch, it goes from that, the, shifter basically, to the key switch, to this switch. Well, it's supposed to be a ground, not positive, and so that's why that's not working, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse everything back around, put the cables back on. I mean, pretty soon here we're going to run out of threads. And I'm just going to ground the key switch wire and see if it doesn't work. And so we'll check that out and come back. Well, I just took her for a little zip around the neighborhood here. Like I said, these lights aren't super bright, but they're bright enough. So, seems like it does about 16 miles an hour on flat ground. The hood rattles like a bitch. So, gotta figure out something for that. Seems like it does all right. I got the LEDs that I ordered came in and they're a lot brighter. So I swapped them out real quick. Went down around 2 volts. So, I don't know how long the battery's gonna last. Probably long enough. But anyway, I'm going in. Obviously it's dark. Tomorrow I'll work on the trunk lid. I got the foam done. So let it set up and get rigid. And then tomorrow, little things here. Until then. Today's been a hell of a busy day, but I can't believe I forgot to shoot video. Anyway, so I got my gauges mounted back up after everything was painted. Kind of match, I guess, maybe. And got the trim put on. I need to come out here with the SOS pad and kind of polish it up. I got to polish up the wheels. I got some chrome spray paint to paint the middle parts where they're really rusty, just to kind of hide that. Got the screws put up front here. I think this is where the hood was hitting really bad and rattling. There might be another spot there. So I might glue a little something down there. I still need to find a bigger screw for that because it pulled through the trim. See how bent up that fender is. I mean, you can see how bad the trim was anyway, so it's not like I ruined anything. Right now, I got a piece of flashing, and it's going to go back behind this, and my grill stuff came in. And there it is. It's aluminum. So the idea is to get it screwed onto this lip. So it means I'm going to have to cut it really precise. So right now I'm going to go ahead and throw some black primer or some etch primer and then some black primer on that. That way you won't see it and it'll make this pop. We'll see. So that's gonna do it for this weekend. My days off weekend of work. I didn't quite get everything done I wanted to do, but we're close. I still need to blow out all the dirt between the floor and the sides, and then spray some zinc down in there to keep it from rusting. It already has started. I need to take some steel wool, some SOS pads, clean up all the chrome, clean up the wheels, paint the centers of the wheels. Do that before car show. I would really like to someday build a short little windshield. Just, you know, that tall. Be kind of cool. Maybe, I don't know. Probably build it out here maybe. Just even a flat one. I don't know. For looks, not for actual anything else. I'm pretty happy with that grill. It came out real nice. Hopefully, I don't think the grill will make. Well, it might rattle a lot. I don't know. But pretty damn awesome. Anyway, tomorrow I'll borrow the trailer, get it loaded up, and then Saturday I'll haul it to work with me and probably get the wheels cleaned and get the SOS work done. But that's it for the night. I'm going in. Good night.